Hello everyone and welcome to another Gamertech build. We are live streaming today. Thank you for tuning in and I am here. I'm Tal, as per usual.
And I'm Frank.
I'm here with Frank, who is my trusty build partner. Although Frank today is actually going to be doing the building. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. It's something a little bit new for me. It's a little bit of an unusual build. And so I'm hoping that you will not only fix my microphone, but guide me through the process at the same time.
What? I'll try that again. Sorry, technical difficulties, or rather technical idiots when it comes to streaming. So I think we are live now. Thank you very much. And yes, right, so today we're going to be building an ITX build. It's going to be all white. And without the risk of sounding sexist, it's because it's for a girl.
Well, okay, so to explain, it's for my partner, and the brief was ultimately that it has to play Zoo Planet on ultra settings, and it has to look like a unicorn and light up. So that's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with. So we've got, everything is white, other than the motherboard. It's really hard to find a white ITX motherboard.
It's like unicorn poo.
Yeah, yeah. But don't worry, we've actually got plenty of unicorn poo. Everything, and I mean everything, is RGB. So
I think it's going to fit the brief.
It's, yeah, it's going to look interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to look good. We've got some really, we've got some cool components here. It's a fairly, I would say, it's a fairly modest build in terms of budget. We're not going like super duper crazy. It's what I would say would be the sort of minimum decent spec.
Yeah.
Right? So minimum decent to play modern games.
Yeah.
You can certainly go cheaper.
You certainly could, I think, for Zoo Planet.
Yeah, yeah. You certainly can go cheaper, but the idea is this can run all of the games that Frank's partner wants to run, plus maybe some more. Maybe with a new gaming PC, she'll be that interested. She'll want to get into some more games.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of taken command of the build, and you know me, Tal. I like to overspec a little bit, so.
As do I, my friend. As do I, and of course, all of the customers are going to be getting overspec builds as well. Bigger power supplies than is necessary, more power than they might need, or more power than they'll be able to get from any other competitors of ours, because we want to put more PCs into the hands of gamers.
More bang for your buck.
More bang for your buck. More everything for your everything. So I'm just going to try and see if I can get some people tuning into the stream.
Fly the flag.
Yep. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna send the link to my family as well, because they like to watch my builds, and to be honest, they do constitute about 25% of our entire audience.
We need the views.
So let's just 29 degrees at 6:30 p.m. How do you feel about that?
It's hot today.
It's really, really hot today. I feel like I have almost a sweat on already. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing the building today.
Yeah, as if you didn't know we were British already. We're talking about the weather.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. 2 minutes into the stream and we're talking about the weather. What is wrong with us? Right. So, should we have a look at what we're building with today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait. No, there's some housekeeping things I probably need to do. If you're watching the stream, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you. Looking forward to the build. Tal and Frank, thumbs up. Thanks a lot, Andrew. That's really awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate that. If you're watching the stream now, thank you. I think it might just be Andrew, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.
If you're watching this when we are going to put a more edited video out, then please like, subscribe, maybe try and check out the next stream that we do. Not sure where that's going to be exactly, but I'm trying to build as many PCs as we can for friends and family before we launch, and obviously once we launch we'll be building as many PCs that we sell on live stream as we can. Launch, speaking of launch, we're hopefully going to be launching in about 3 weeks. So we're currently the website's built, all of the business commercials and everything is in place. We're just waiting. We're just doing some testing on the website. We need to make sure that it's all working properly. We've got a very powerful, but also fairly complex in the background, not to use, very easy to use, configurator, where the users, customers, will be able to build their own PC. It'll be an absolute breeze to use because it's really intuitive, but in the background, because it's so cool and got lots of stuff going on, it's really complex. So we're just having to do a lot of testing to make sure it's all working okay.
I'm excited to see the final build of it. I've not, I haven't seen the configurator for a while,
You
so I
haven't
expect
seen
it's
it
changed a bit.
for months, actually,
Yeah.
have you? Probably 6 months?
Yeah, at least.
Oh, it looks real good, my friend. It looks real good.
But in the meantime, right, you've got something listed on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes, thank you. There's, I think, 4 PCs listed on Facebook Marketplace. I'll put the links in the live stream for anyone to have a look at. We've got a basic entry-level Intel build for about 900 quid. We have a what I would say is a mid-range build with a 4070 and on the AM5 platform for about £1,600. And then we have 2 of those actually. We've got one slightly cheaper because we've got a couple of cheaper components, and then we have basically about the best you can get.
The Rolls Royce.
The Rolls Royce of PCs before you get to custom water cooling. It's got a really, really nice Corsair AIO, really 360 rad AIO. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks stunning. The only way you could make this PC better is by doing some custom water cooling, which we're going to be doing, by the way. So we've got EK kits that we're going to be using for our water cooling builds. So I'm really excited about that.
Is that a brand, EK, or is that?
EK is probably the finest brand in water cooling.
All right.
So yes, and that one I think is up on sale for about £3,800. But we're talking. An AMD 7950X, we're talking an NVIDIA 4090, we're talking
All right,
64 gigabytes of RAM, 4 terabytes of very, very fast storage, and it also looks brilliant. It's in the Corsair 5000X RGB, which is a beautiful case with glass all around, glass top, both sides and front. It looks stunning.
Very nice.
And the airflow is still really good despite it being glass because it's got channels where all the air goes. Really, really nice. I really love that case. It's the case we used in our last build.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So, yes, please like and subscribe, all that usual stuff. Please check out Facebook Marketplace. That will be in the comments. No, sorry, not in the comments. In the doobly what's it below. Yeah, the description. And gamertech.org coming soon, about 3 weeks. I'm really excited.
We promise, Andrew.
And do you know what else I'm excited about?
What's that?
Building this computer.
Yeah, all right.
So let's have a look and see what we've got. So, motherboard.
So talking about cooling, it's probably worth mentioning that this is an ITX build.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that stand for? I mean, I know it means it's a small box. Does it have any particular name attributed to the acronym, or?
Now you're asking questions. What does ITX stand for? I don't know.
Okay. All right.
What does it stand for? Does anyone know? Anyone in the comments? What does ITX stand for? Let's look it up. I actually don't know. Information Technology Extended.
Okay.
That does
doesn't
not
really seem
sound
to fit.
like it should be.
No.
It doesn't fit. Yes.
Apparently that's it.
Yeah. ATX is Advanced Technology Extended.
I mean, it's easier to say big and small.
Yeah. It's no wonder they remain acronyms.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I learned something new today. Thank you very much, Frank. Try not to ask any more questions. I don't know the answers for, if you don't mind.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, so let's have a look at some of these components. We're starting off with the motherboard, which, well, you know what, Frank? You're hosting today, so
All right.
have a look at this. right?
Okay.
Tell me what you think, and I'll tell you just for the box at the moment. We'll just do a little bit of looking at the box, and then ask some questions, or I'll tell you some things on what it does and why we chose that one.
Well, I can see 2 reasons.
Yep.
Number 1,
It's got RGB.
yeah, and number 2, it's small.
Yes.
So why the Aorus over other things?
Okay. Well, so Aorus is Gigabyte's kind of higher end gaming brand. So you'll find most of the advanced features like that in the Aorus brand. And really, the reason why we went for this board is that one of the main things is that it has QFlash, or QFlash Plus, I think is what it's called. Basically, it means that you can flash the motherboard's BIOS without having to even put any of the components into the motherboard.
Oh,
you
wow.
literally just put some power into the CPU sockets. You put the power into the 24-pin motherboard socket, and then you take your CD flash thingy. What do you call those things?
USB drive.
USB drive.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Put it into the relevant port on the back that says BIOS, and then you press the BIOS flashback, and it goes through some lights. It does some, shows it is doing some things, and then after about 2 or 3 minutes, the lights will finish, and that means it's finished. It's flashed the motherboard, the BIOS on the motherboard. So the reason for that is sometimes you'll get some motherboards will be manufactured, and they'll have BIOS version 2, right? But then later CPUs will come out, so because they're constantly making new CPUs for the same platform. So this is AM4 platform. This is actually the previous platform,
Right.
and we went for AM4 really to just keep costs down. So they'll make a new AM4 CPU, but because it would have come out quite a lot long after the motherboard was manufactured, then the BIOS that it needs to run with that CPU is now, it's later. It's not on the board. So in fact, if you try to put, a late stage AM4 CPU onto one of the first motherboards that came out on AM4, it just won't work because it doesn't have the right BIOS. It doesn't understand what you've put in there. So you have to be able to flash it. Without having something like BIOS flashback, you can't do that. So
That's
for
handy.
me, and by the way, to our customers out there, it probably doesn't mean much because we're going to be building the PC for you, unless you buy one of our component kits. We'll talk about that later. But for the builder, it means that we don't have to worry about the mismatch of the BIOS versus the CPU. And also, if you want to change CPUs later, customers, and you want to put a newer CPU into an older motherboard,
Just gives you some flexibility.
gives you the flexibility of being able to do that. So, plus, we just have more PCI lanes, we have more USB connectivity. It looks nicer. It's got better thermals. There's lots of reasons why, really, but good solid board. It's just it's probably the mid-entry Aorus board. So,
Great.
and what we're putting in it, which you can see over there, I want to hold that up to the viewers, is the 5600X, which is again AM4 platform. It's entry level. It's entry level of the performance range. You can get lower end CPUs than that, but this is entry for what I would say you would want for a proper gaming build.
That's good. It's good that we're making a proper PC.
It is a proper PC. It's going to be a really proper PC. Yeah. Do you want to pick up some other stuff and have a look?
No problem.
What else have we got? We've got the power supply.
750 watt, and that'll be enough for everything that we're putting in.
You know what? That's more than plenty that we're putting in. The eagle-eyed of you might see the graphics card over there, which is the 4060, and you only I think need about 550 watts. It might be 600. I'll have to look, but we're over-speccing on the power supply just for future-proofing, basically.
Yeah.
If your partner wanted to put a better graphics card in later, you'd be able to go up a couple of tiers, 1 or 2 tiers to the 4070 at least. Probably not the 4080, maybe one of AMD
Yeah.
graphics cards.
Certainly seems less hungry than the old 3090.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's good. So is this a double slot or a triple slot?
I think it's just a double slot, but
Yeah.
it's a triple cooler. It's really nice, good, solid card. The 4060 is, to be completely honest, it's not my favourite in the new 4000 series lineup from NVIDIA. I think the sweet spot in terms of value is the 4070, but the 4070 does cost quite a lot more.
Yeah, so there is a jump, but
that's
you
the
get
reason
you get your value for that jump.
Yeah, you do, right? It's always been that the lower end of the market has been the best value proposition. But since I don't know, probably the last 3-5 years, that's kind of turned on its tail, and now we're seeing that the upper end of the hierarchy is better value, which kind of sucks because when I say value, I mean like frames per
pound.
dollar.
Yeah, per dollar per pound.
But it was always so that it was for the entry level, and that just isn't the case anymore. Maybe it's economies of scale. Maybe it costs not that much more to make a really good graphics card than it does a not very good one in terms of manufacturing costs.
Yeah, I mean the market has changed a lot in the last couple of years. I mean there was the
You're still.
there was the big mining rush a couple of years back, and that probably affected the way in which the graphics card companies were kind of addressing the market. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What those actual impacts were, I don't have the acumen for.
Well, no, I think probably you're right. I think that the mining situation, cryptocurrency, definitely affected the landscape of the GPU market. And unfortunately, you remember, you did some crypto mining,
Yeah.
as did I, and you remember how hard graphics cards were to get back then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we're in for GPU shortage 2.0 with with AI, because everyone, you need a graphics card to be able to process AI. So yeah, I think the same thing is going to happen again. I think that's really unfortunate, but what can you do?
It is what it is. People are going to use these products for what they want.
Yeah. What have we got next? We got.
Okay, I think we can put this
cooler.
and this and also this in the same category, which is RGB. It's just
lots of RGB,
lots of lights.
So we've got some fans. These are some really nice fans. So we'll show you in a second, but we've gone for a Lian Li case. We're also going for some Lian Li fans as well. These are the Uni fans. We've got a couple of the 140s which go, I believe, on the top, and then we've got a 120 that goes on the rear.
Great.
Strange configuration in this case. It doesn't have any fans on the front, which is not very common, but there it is. And then this is our cooler, which is just a low profile cooler. Now, I think I can hear.
I heard something too. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is going to be sufficient cooling.
Sure. We'll soon find out.
We'll find out. You know what? I'm fairly certain this will be sufficient for what the CPU we're using and the airflow that we'll have.
Yeah.
If not, we could swap it out for something a bit bigger. But we're a little bit CPU cooler height.
We pushed to space. Yeah.
We don't have a lot of space. I think we have 6.3 centimeters. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, we'll find out. And then finally, we've got some RGB RAM as well. The Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro SL. And why this RAM, Tal?
Well, it's white. And it's got RGB on it.
Fits the bill.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
there
basically, what we looked at is what kits were white, what kits had RGB, and then we just looked at the best value from there to see what we can get in terms of specs. So we've got 32 gigs, and I believe it's 3600 mega transfers. Is that right?
3600 megahertz, right there on the box, I think.
And I think it's CL30.
Good question. I don't even know what that means.
It's the latency. It's the cache timing. So it's for every time that It's not the amount of. So the 3600 is the amount of data. Sorry, I'm hearing something.
Yeah.
Is it?
Have you got feedback from the headphones, perhaps?
Could it be from the headphones? Yeah. You might be right. Let me just turn these down. It's not that, you know. Yeah, it's coming from over here. Is it your phone?
Ah, you know what? Yeah.
Right, well, keep it on, but just put the volume down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, we can do that.
So yeah, mega transfers is the amount of data it can transfer per second. So mega transfers per second, and the CAS latency is how many times it can do that in a period of time. So,
Okay.
you might find that if you've got 3600 mega transfers and CAS latency 30, then that would be roughly the same speed as having something with, you know, lower mega transfers but faster CAS latency. So
It's a balance.
horses for courses.
Yeah.
And then we've got some storage.
Cheap and cheerful.
It's just cheap and cheerful.
No.
It's a Kingston NV2 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah.
And that's it. So let's have a look at the chat. We've got some more questions. Andrew, thank you for your question again. If I order a PC and you get Frank to build it, will I get a discount? Sound is okay our end. Thank you for the sound check, Andrew.
Love it.
Now, Andrew has been my friend for 25 years.
And no longer.
So, Andrew, I can say without a doubt, absolutely no, you will get no discount. My God. Come on. No, of course you will. Right. Speaking of, well, not discount exactly, but let's say offers and launch offers. We're going to be giving away, and hopefully this will be enough for your discount needs, Andrew. We're going to be giving away a Razer gaming mouse with each new PC purchase when we launch, which is it's worth about £100.
Fair enough.
Really nice mouse. I
Yeah.
mean, I literally have one that I use as my gaming mouse, and I have used it for many years. It's the Death Adder, and I think it's the version 3 Pro. It's about £100.
They're hardy things, aren't they?
It's about as good as you can get as a mouse,
No.
in a gaming mouse. So anyone when we launch in a few weeks' time, anyone that buys a PC with us for until stocks last, you will get a free £100 Razer gaming mouse. And also, just a reminder to anyone that's looking at our socials, which are gamertech.org, which is gamertech DOTORG, all one word. If you share any of our posts up until launch, any of the posts at all, any of our lifetime posts on those socials, any of the socials, which is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and
even LinkedIn.
If you share any of those with your friends and audience, you'll be given one entry to win in a giveaway raffle to win one of a few prizes. We've got a CPU, we've got a case, and we've got an SSD. So I really appreciate that if any of you will be able to share those, help to spread the name before we launch in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
So, right.
Should we have a look at the case?
Should we let's have a quick look at the case. In fact, you know what? Let's just take the case out, just start looking, and just start building. What?
All right.
Mic'd up.
Yeah, I'm tethered.
Right. So I'm just going to move the keyboard and things away.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Hang on. A little bit. Ooh. In a. Right. Okay. So. Lian Li Q58 ITX case. I think this is the best ITX case on the market.
It is quite pretty, to be fair.
It's really nice. It's really nice, and I love. You're going to see later, guys, the modular way that you can use either the mesh or the glass. You can have half mesh, half glass, or full mesh on one side, full glass on the other side. It's really nice.
That was a big factor in the decision to go with this case.
Back over there for a moment, and I'll set this out for you.
Lovely. Yeah, that was a big factor in the decision to go for this case because it's going to be, the idea is it's going to be placed sideways underneath kind of an entertainment area. And so what I wanted was for the glass to be fully on one side.
Just hold one side.
Yeah. So that you could see all of the RGB inside. Oh, I see. There we go. There you go. Right. How many people does it take to get a case out? Right, chuck us that polystyrene.
Hold on, let me just pull this out and we can just get rid of the whole lot. Right.
Wow.
Is that bigger or smaller than you thought it was going to be?
It's smaller, I think. Yeah. It's smaller than I thought. Huh.
So
it's very neat.
let's just have a look at this. So what we've got here then, Frank, is so what it does is it divides the case. It divides the case up into two segments, right, or two sectors. You've got the front where we'll have the sorry, I put it this way. You've got the front where we'll have the GPU, which will be mounted vertically. And I think that's everything that goes on this side, actually. And then on the rear, we'll have our little ITX motherboard. I hope I'm pointing at this right place. Yes, I think so, yeah. And then our little SFX power supply down here. That's really it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a neat little thing, isn't it?
It is a neat little thing. It's really nicely finished. It's got a really nice finish to it. It's very light, but it's also sturdy. And this is what I love about Lian Li. I mean, you know me, Frank, right? How long have you known me, and how many times have I talked about Lian Li cases in our time together?
It's getting on for a decade, and I think you probably mentioned one within about a week of meeting you.
Probably, yes. Sorry, let me just sort the thing again. It's just getting some.
I'm too active.
Getting some more. Sorry about the sound. Right, hopefully that's. I love Lian Li cases. We're not sponsored. God, we're not sponsored by anyone. I wish we could be sponsored by Lian Li. Lian Li, if you want to sponsor us, please get in touch. I love your cases. I've had a Lian Li case for probably 20 years.
No.
I've currently got, well, this one. Oh, you can't see that.
I mean, you can see some RGB.
You can see some RGB there. You know what? I'm just going to do something to this comments thing. I think I can. I want to make it see-through, and I think I can do that. So, sorry, Frank. You can crack on.
It's all right. I'll fiddle.
Background removal. No, that doesn't seem to be it. Masking, filters. How do I make this thing go? If I do opacity, it does everything.
I know you're not a manual kind of guy in general, but I think we may need it on this occasion.
Do you reckon?
Well, I mean, there's brackets and all sorts of things going on here.
I'm not opposed to looking at the manual.
It's just not top of your list.
Well, I just don't usually need to, Frank. This is what I do for a job.
Fair enough.
You know? Come on. What I don't do for a job, or what I shouldn't do for a job, is streaming, because what are we even doing?
Okay, that's an ATX PSU bracket, which we're not using, so that's fine.
Yes.
Did just want to find out what that was for.
Transform.
Oh, okay, that's a SSD hard drive expansion plate.
Right. I can't figure this out, so I've made the chat thing slightly opaque.
Hey, you can see it. It's fine.
Yes. Don't worry. We'll read out any comments that we get from any viewers. There were 4 people watching.
Haha.
My gosh, thank you so much to everyone that's watching. I think one of them is still Andrew. Thanks, Andrew, you're the best. And to anyone else, if I know you, I probably love you. If I don't, well, I probably still love you.
Brilliant.
Right. It's a bit warm.
Yeah. I guess I should open her up.
Put that aside for a little while, Frank.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit keen.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't need the case for a little while. We're going to work on put it down
Down on the floor.
downstairs.
Right, so.
What we're going to need first is the motherboard, please.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna relax now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Grand.
take it away, Frank.
All right.
Is there anything we need in here? I doubt it for the moment. So what we need is this box for building on top of.
Okay. Huh. This is remarkable how small this thing is. I mean, I've never built anything other than a full-size PC.
So this is your that's your mounting bracket for your CPU, or your cooler rather, Frank. So that just goes underneath. So just put that underneath.
That this way up?
Yeah, and then it just goes inside the holes there. Can you see the holes poking through?
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, because normally you screw it into the case or something.
Yeah, that's right. Well, so AM4 is a different type of socket than AM5. So AM4, you probably can see, if you look at the socket here, has holes, right? But what that means is that the CPU itself has the pins. The pins go in the holes, right?
Right.
With AM5, and much the same as Intel, that's reversed. So you actually have the socket has the pins, and the CPU has the holes.
That seems really weird.
Yeah. So I think the general reasoning behind that is, if you're gonna ruin a product, you probably don't want to ruin your £700, top end CPU, right? But to be honest, motherboards are expensive now too. So I'm not sure which one I'd be most annoyed about ruining.
You're kind of damned either way, aren't you?
Yeah. So if you want to grab the CPU now.
Yeah, certainly.
The first thing we need to do is we need to get that CPU into that socket so that it's safe, right? So inside here is the CPU. You just want to open it up, and it's to the side there, right? Yeah. My advice, just be really, really careful when you handle the CPU, Frank, okay?
Okay.
That's it.
Don't need that, I think.
So what you're looking for is the little bottom left. So you can see all the pins there?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So bottom left, if you turn it back the other way, has the little arrow.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's the arrow there.
And you can see the arrow there, right? So lift up the retention bar. If that all the way up, that's it. Now, very carefully, take out the CPU, hold it by the sides, and just remember you've got pins on the bottom of that you don't want to touch, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And whatever you do, don't drop it on anything hard. Okay, so just place it very gently. Don't push, just let it go in. Hang on a minute.
I appreciate that they put little finger moulds in the packaging. That helps me to pick it up.
You have done a good job, sir.
Lovely.
You can pull that back down and put it underneath. Right?
Great.
So now we are
bonk.
See, no, please God no. Right. So now we have the CPU in place. That's the most important thing.
Haha.
Right?
Job well done.
Because really, realistically, there's nothing else you're going to break on this.
You wait.
Don't say that. Come on. Don't jinx it. Right. Right. So.
CPU cooler?
I don't see why not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That is the CPU cooler, right?
That
yes,
is it, yes.
Do we have some thermal paste, sir?
We do. Up in the thermal paste drawer, Frank.
You have.
Right,
oh, you have. Oh, right. Is that a bit far for my? It's out of my reach. This is exciting. Oh wow. Okay. Box. Is that the fan? Ah, there it is. Wow.
So
Right.
we'll probably have some thermal paste inside this cool accessory box. I'll just have a check because you usually do. But
Oh yeah. There we go.
oh, actually, so I was going to say, do you want to use the pretty good stuff? I've got some Arctic MX4.
Yeah,
here
that's my go-to.
we got some thermal Grizzly, Frank.
Oh right. Okay.
That stuff is the shiz, right? So
the grizzly shiz.
yeah, we want to use that instead.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's see. Any more questions? How do you even say Alex's name? Azrafael?
Azrafael.
Azrafael?
Azrafael. I don't think it's Azrafael.
Azrafael. That would be a bit mean, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So no, Alex. I'm imagining it's Azrafael. Will this unicorn PC get a horn?
You know what? It needs a Wi-Fi antenna.
It's got a little Wi-Fi antenna, which I believe is white.
That's amazing.
So, to answer your question, Alex, yes, it will get a horn. And we'll put it right up front in the middle as well.
Perfect. Love it.
And Ian says, Ian Rollings, thank you, Ian, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Ian's another one of my long-time friends, as with Andrew. Azrafael is Frank's long-time friend.
Yeah.
So thanks, Alex, for tuning in. Thank you, Ian. Ian says, I'm looking forward to being able to scrutinise the building of my PC when I eventually order it. So, it's a dual-edged sword there, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your business. Also, not looking forward to the scrutinisation.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they all go through testing. So, it will be fine.
Yes. All PCs go through an abundance of testing, benchmarking, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for?
Stress tests?
Stress tests, thank you, yes, stress testing. So testing to make sure everything works, but then stress testing to make sure that everything is going to work long term. So I've got a fancy piece of software that does essentially like a, you run it over, you get a certification, you get either a bronze for doing a 3-hour stress test, silver, gold, and I think the platinum is like 12 hours of basically maximum hammering the everything on the PC. Yeah. So we'll be doing those for all of the builds that go out the door, because the last thing you want when you buy a pre-built PC is for it not to work.
DOA.
Right? Or for it to just work for a short period of time and then not work. That's probably even worse. I mean, if it shows up at the door and it's not working, at least you can just send it back. If it shows up and it doesn't work after a month, that's kind of awkward, isn't it?
It's a rough day at the office.
Saying that, we're all about our customers here at Gamertech. We're all about the we're all about customer service. We're all about giving the best service possible to our customers. So, I mean, I'm not going to, say 100%, but probably if someone buys a PC and it does go wrong within a month, even if it's outside of the DOA period and everything else, we'll just sort you out anyway.
We'll do our best, case by case basis.
Obviously, you're going to have a warranty, right? So you're going to have a 3-year or 5-year warranty. That's going to cover all of your parts. It's going to cover all of your servicing. It's going to cover any troubleshooting you need to do. So, if the product goes wrong, obviously we'll just replace it. What I'm talking about is something like accidental damage, right, which is not usually covered in a warranty. So, I don't know, maybe you drop some water into your PC. We'll do our best to help you out. That's what I'll say. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Ian says also, I've heard these PCs come with fantasy football cheats built in. Needs confirming. Well, so I think Ian's a little bit salty because I haven't played fantasy football for about probably 10 years.
I love it.
I haven't watched a game of football other than the World Cup in about 10 years. So I started playing fantasy football for the first time this season, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I'm winning.
Enough said.
The thing is, Ian is the most competitive person I know, so I bet he hates that. I'm sorry, Ian. It is just a fluke.
hang on, slow down. We're going to see a drop in viewership. If we're not
Yeah.
careful.
Oh God, no, Ian. Sorry, I love you. You constitute 20% of our viewership right now. I'll drop some points. I'll take Haaland off my captain. I promise.
There's a hint straight away.
Right. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Really, it means a lot. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. Please keep the questions coming.
And thank you, Ian, for the absolutely seamless segue into warranties.